Time management is really self-management. Traditional time management strategies that used to work even 5 years ago just don't cut it in today's always connected, do more with less work culture. And this doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. You can schedule and plan, but now you also need to be more flexible and allow for the unexpected. And how can you accommodate for that and still get everything you need to do done? It's a big challenge, but planning is still very critical to our daily success. Because when you go into a day that's unplanned, then you're at the mercy of whatever comes at you. When you have a plan, then you're not as likely to let the unplanned things get in your way. Failing to budget the time to work your plan means you're hoping the time will be available to get it done. But even more important than planning your stuff is planning your stuff according to your natural attention energy levels, your circadian rhythms. And this is your new best friend in the battle of stress and overload and getting more stuff done. Now, what exactly does all that mean? Well, your attention is a more limited resource than your time. Have you ever got to the end of your day and you've still got lots to do and you're even motivated to do it, but you find yourself unable to get traction or get going on any of the work? And in this circumstance, you may tell yourself that you ran out of time, but you actually just ran out of attention to give to it. Other days, maybe you've been in back-to-back meetings all day and it's 4 o'clock before you even get any desk time to catch up on emails or other work. On these days, you may feel that you're short on time, not on attention. But I say wrong. Your attention energy is a currency to be spent. And if you give away as much as 80% to meetings or other things, don't be surprised that that final 20% of your attention energy amounts to little more than dealing with a few emails or just feeling overwhelmed. In true capacity, we learn that every single thing we do takes up time in our day, but we also consume attention energy throughout the day. And if you start to think about time spent in meetings, not just in terms of time spent, but also in terms of attention energy spent, it now becomes clear that complex and difficult meetings are a massive drain on your personal resources. Attention energy is your currency, so you need to budget and spend it wisely. So let's take a closer look at how this will work for you in planning your days. Now, we all experience different levels of focus and energy throughout our days. And for the most part, they're pretty much the same every day. Knowing and understanding your own rhythms will help you be more productive. So on page 20 of your workbook, I've laid out an example of how I've broken these rhythms down into 3 levels. This isn't an exact science, but it does give you a visual of how rhythms or cycles move throughout the day. So we start with the proactive time of day. Now this is that time of day when you're fired up, you're alert, you're able to focus really well, you can make important decisions, you're able to tackle complex tasks. The effective time of day is where you're still on, but maybe now your focus and energy is starting to wane a little bit. You're a little more easily distracted. Sometimes you're amazingly productive, but attention's starting to lack a bit. And then there's that passive time of day, where the lights are on, but your energy is diminished. You struggle with tasks. Your decision making is difficult. So if you look at the graph there in your workbooks, this is my attempt at creating a graph for visual purposes. This is a sample of energy and attention levels as they move throughout the day. So I start the day in, let's say, a passive state, and then I slowly build to effective, and then at about 10 o'clock, I'm hitting my stride. Now, the levels drop and rise throughout the day, and they continue on throughout the rest of the day. Have you ever caught yourself at the end of the day and all of a sudden you got that second wind when you really should be getting to bed? That might be your circadian rhythms at work there. But looking at that graph, I want you to notice that there's not a lot of available proactive hours in your day. So it's vital that as much as possible you reserve and protect that time for the really big, important stuff. You need to be more strategic about when you plan for doing the big stuff. Most people do gear up mid-morning, and that's a time that many meetings are scheduled. This is the worst time for meetings, especially those meetings that aren't very productive. But equally important is knowing what easy stuff you can put off until that passive time of day. You know, things like those routine tasks or simple emails to respond to. Now, how would planning around your cycles affect your day? Would this be valuable to you? I sure hope you agree, because the next thing I want you to do are the exercises that are on page 21 and 22. These will help you develop your energy and attention timetable, which will maximize how you work. And I also want to invite you to examine the weekly planning ritual, which is on page 23, as a way of wrapping up your work week, planning for the next week, and transitioning from work to personal life, for whatever your personal time looks like. So this will conclude Module 4 rather. See you in Module 5, which is Meetings Mastery, where we'll take a close look at how ineffective meetings kill productivity and how to create a productive meeting. See you there.